if you go to buy literature on Swami Vivekananda, but most of it will come from this in-house publishing. As a result, it is factual, sweet, benign and nice, but it is not written with a critical eye. मन में ये हो रहा है कि कभी चांस मिल जाए तो हम परमहंस का रोल प्ले करें. People like you and me are fit enough or big enough to bring Swami Vivekananda into Ayodhya movement or not is a separate issue, but he is certainly relevant.
Namaskar, good afternoon. We are privileged once again to have with us Shri Praful Goradia, former Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, a well-known columnist and a renowned author. We discussed Shri Goradia's latest book, in which I too have been privileged to be a co-author on Swami Vivekananda, an individual and a subject blessed with antiquity, yet is contemporary and I would say timeless. So, good afternoon, sir. I'm sure readers and the audience and viewers are interested in knowing from you what prompted you or inspired you to choose Swami Vivekananda, a 19th century figure, but whom one may call timeless and relevant, as the subject of your latest book. There has been enough written on Vivekananda, not enough I would say, but quite a lot that has been written on Vivekananda. So what was the inspiration for yet another book?
In my case, I viewed it from the point of view of nationalism. Sepoy mutiny, or as Savarkarji has put it, War of Independence, had just finished some years ago. And there was such a huge gap of no activity of a nationalistic nature at all. There was no such thing as a national movement at that time. There was nothing, huge gap. And it was Vivekananda, you can say, consciously or unconsciously, I cannot say because I haven't met Swami Vivekananda. But the fact is that his movement, whatever it was, of a, you could say, of a religious or a spiritual nature, filled this gap. It was a nationalistic message, but in those days, since there was no national movement, and it was much safer and much easier to use the religious or the spiritual path to spread the message that we are a great civilization, we are a great, we're the mother of all religions, as he called it in London, sorry, in Chicago. And shall we say what we call politics today was brought into this explanation, because otherwise he would have been unwelcome in America, but even more unwelcome in the United Kingdom or Britain. As a result, he, let us say, consciously or unconsciously, took the spiritual path, the religious path, and was a great success. Had it gone for politics, he would have been kicked out of both the countries. This was my primary reason for choosing Vivekananda.
Since the book opens with his very iconic epoch-making speech at Chicago, our book on Swami Vivekananda opens with that. Would you therefore say that he was, in that sense, heralding the arrival of Indian nationalism to the world at large through his message at Chicago, delivered through the medium of spiritualism or philosophy, as we would call it today?
Well, he certainly was pioneering it.
So is it apt to say that Swami Vivekananda in that sense was the first modern Indian nationalist after the 19th century renaissance of Hinduism?
Well, I don't know enough about the Renaissance to comment on your question. because I haven't gone into the details of it. But certainly Vivekananda was probably the pioneer.
His very nationalist outlook, the only reason for picking him up as a subject, or have you also looked at the spiritual and philosophical side of Vivekananda, especially his introduction of what today is called Vedantism in the West?
You see, your question takes me to the thought that, I mean, you can't ignore Bradman and ignore batting. So you can't have Vivekananda and ignore his spiritualism. If you ignore Vedantism, there is no justification for Swami Vivekananda. So you can't ignore him. No, no.
I'm sure readers, especially those interested in Vivekananda, at a keener level would like to know which sources or what literature did you have to consult in arriving at this. We have looked at his letters to his various disciples and other acquaintances, no doubt, but apart from those, were there any other sources of Vivekananda literature which interested you, or
Well, I would be quite straight and frank and tell you that most of what is written on Vivekananda is unfortunately nothing, well, or incidentally, written or printed by, I'm sorry, not able to pronounce this word, Avaidya,
Advaita?
Advaita. So they themselves have, that is the publishing house. As a result, it is an in-house massive publication. I mean, you can get enough to fill half this room probably in one day if you go to buy literature on Swami Vivekananda. But most of it will come from this in-house publishing. As a result, it is factual, sweet, benign, and nice, but it is not written with a critical eye. To that extent, you have to lean on other sources. And the other Oxford type of scholars who have written on him, there are several. One name that comes to mind immediately is Professor Chaudhary, who've written very sweet things about him, that he was this and he was that and he wasn't this and he wasn't that. But they haven't really got their teeth into the subject. They have been soft and intellectual, and they haven't properly understood Vivekananda.
Now, during the course of our work on this book and our discussions on the subject, you have mentioned the influence of Swami Ramakrishna Vivekananda's guru on your thought process about this subject. You have been raised in Bengal, you have grown up there, and you have also been to Belur Mutt and Dakshineshwar.
Many types.
How much, and you have thought about Swami Ramakrishna as such, perhaps you have watched plays and other performances on the Swami. How much of Swami Ramakrishna and his life was an influence on you in the writing of Vivekananda, his foremost disciple, the young Narendra who became Vivekananda?
Well, I'll be quite frank. I'm no man of God nor a man of any spirituality, and for me to claim a deep understanding in Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would be false. But certainly being in Bengal and having seen at least two plays that I remember, and probably one cinema, certainly Paramahamsa has had an influence on me psychologically. So much so that Although I have never acted in a play or a drama or any kind of activity of that nature, but मन में ये हो रहा है कि कभी चांस मिल जाए तो हम परमहंस का रोल प्ले करें। हालांकि मुझसे कुछ होगा नहीं अगर कोई ऑफर करे तो भी, क्योंकि हमको आता ही नहीं है वो आर्ट। लेकिन ये एक कुछ
प्रेरणा।
इतना लगाव है।
So, in a way, Paramhans has been, could you say that? Paramhans has been a driving force in making you arrive at this subject and to bring it to the readers in that light.
इच्छा कहेंगे कि तो बेटर रहेगा, ड्राइविंग फोर्स विल बी टू पावरफुल।
You have chosen to call this work Swami Vivekananda, the diviner who took Hinduism to the West. This is an angle that does deserve quite a mention, at least some elucidation from you. This is an angle that has not been.
हाँ, ये that has not been
adequately highlighted. The diviner who took Hinduism to the West.
Oh, they're not adequately
highlighted
today.
Today, or as yet, I would dare say. So, many would be interested to know, was he really the first man who took Hinduism to the West?
देखिए, मेरे ख्याल से
huge submission.
And to the extent to which I have been to the UK more than several times, as well as, or the few times I have been to the USA, मेरा ये plus what a little I may have read, my impression is that America, especially less than UK, America knew nothing about India.
Okay.
I mean, nothing may be an exaggeration. Again, in pockets, people may have known. But their idea of India was like the animist. Means a typical example would be to go to Gujarat and certain pockets of Adivasi areas where they worship the tigress on which the Devi rides. And so people take it as a tiger worship. You go somewhere else and they take it as another animal's worship. So they come to the conclusion that you are animists. And this word is widespread amongst the Adivasi commentators and among Adivasi areas, that you are animist. Animist means animal worship. तो यही impression वहाँ पहुँचा था. Now where they got it from, I don't know. It was high time कि ये impression निकाला जाए and उनको कहा जाए कि भाई we were this and not that. Not that I thought of this या मेरा inspiration था, लेकिन ये ज़रूरत तो ज़रूर थी. अब कौन पूरी करे उसको अलग बात है, but I think it was Swami Vivekananda who filled this gap, terrible gap of the impression that we are near about animists. और बाकी तो फिर जब सब्जेक्ट हाथ में लेते हैं तब कुछ और जोश आ जाता है और कुछ न कुछ करते हैं और हुआ.
Is it proper to say that Swami Vivekananda's relevance holds good even today, or perhaps to a greater degree? As authors, should we be going far to claim that he is relevant even today, and perhaps even more so in today's world, given all the turmoil which
we all conveniently refer to 6th December 1992 and the revival of Hinduism.
Yes.
And I would say that Swami Vivekananda would be highly relevant if he is properly placed in that role. But whether we are people like you and me are fit enough or big enough to bring Swami Vivekananda into Ayodhya movement or not is a separate issue. But he is certainly relevant.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I'm sure our audience and viewers would enjoy this interaction and be looking forward to more of such work from your side. Well, the nation and its civilization are always are a timeless canvas, if I may submit. From your side, if there is anything you wish to venture on what you intend to come out next with, I'm sure many would be eagerly awaiting a message or at least an indication through this medium.
There is no need to give these advance notices. जब छप जाएगा कुछ तो आ जाएगा.
On that note, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.